Our first segment, if you've been here before, you'll know, is startup stories, okay? And the young man who gave me the idea for startup stories was our first victim as well in the hot seat, Sean Gigremosa. Sean, where are you? Okay, so if anybody knows Sean, they will know how much Sean has pivoted his business in the last year since I first met you. So I thought it'd be really cool to have him come back and kind of tell us what he's been doing and how things have changed since he first came on the stage for Startup Stories last December. Okay, so Sean Gigremosa from Claritiv. Take a seat, and there's your mic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so who knows Sean? Anyone know Sean? Okay. Sean has a company called Claritiv.
Yes.
And when I met Sean, you were basically doing AI
Conversation
intelligence, but
yes.
you're targeting like salespeople.
Salespeople, product teams, yes.
Right, and I think the first question I asked you is, how do you make money?
So, I mean, like most of these types of services are probably going to go on subscription. So it's a SaaS model. So they would go on subscription, pay per month based on usage, and then that's how we charge, or that's how we used to charge.
Right, but you were going in one direction,
yes.
Right? And that's what we spoke about a year ago.
Yes.
So tell us what's happened between then and now.
So the conversational intelligence space became really crowded within the last couple of years. I mean, I'm just going to name Gong probably as the grandfather. Otter, Fireflies, Fathom, Read AI. Zoom has its own transcription tool. Google Meets has its own transcription tool. So we're like, okay, well, this is kind of tough. We're a startup, we're small. Like, I don't want to challenge a VC-backed company, right? Here we are bootstrapped in a small house in Henderson. So the one thing that we were doing is we were exhibiting a lot. And so we exhibited in LA, we exhibited a couple times here in Las Vegas. And then there was like every problem I always say is like, after the trade show, I was like, I get a whole bunch of these like business cards and a CSV list of like names and emails. And then like 3 days after the show, I'm like, I know I spoke to Jesse, but I think Jesse is this lawyer maybe? And I don't remember. So then my follower said, hey, we met at the show. Here I am again, and this is what we do. And it's very, it's very generic. I mean, everybody probably has been here to CES, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you go to CES, you talk to all of those people. Like after, I still get emails from the exhibitors at CES, like, hey, great meeting you at the show. This is what we offer. So it's always about them, right? So once I realized, I was like, there's no context. So this is where kind of like earlier this year, we're like the spark came out. So what if we already have a conversational intelligence platform that analyzes conversation? Now we just need something to actually get in person to do that for in-person event, because we didn't see anything. So that's how we came about. We launched it sort of at a trade show.
Can you explain what it is, please?
Sorry?
Can you explain what it is? Explain what Claritiv is doing now.
So now we have this device. So this is our device that captures or records kind of like in-person conversations. So you would go at a trade show, you would exhibit, you talk to people. This passively records it. And then we have a platform that takes the files from this device and analyzes it for business opportunities, next steps, collaboration opportunities, recommended actions, so that you know exactly how and what each attendee for these, like at the trade show cares about. So then when you're following up, hey, I know you were interested in building your process for this in like, I don't know, Montana. So here's what we offer, and here's how we can help you achieve that goal. Wouldn't it be a lot better than, hey, we met at the show, and this is who we are again?
Great. So from a need that you had, you created an opportunity to pivot the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's exciting about it is that as we were talking to people, they're like, like it's almost the excitement is also there because we talk to exhibitors and they're like, yep, that's a problem. So it was different from when we were talking to sales leader. Yeah, that's a problem, but like we're better, and that never happens to us. To yes, that's a problem, and like how much is it? Can I get it now?
Right.
So it was a different level of conversation.
Who here has experienced that at a trade show where you go, yeah, me too. You meet thousands of people, and then you have no idea who you spoke to the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's exciting. Yeah.
And then what's nice is like when we actually, like when we did this pivot, we exhibited at a Customer Connect Expo here in Las Vegas, and we talked to the organizer, and they were like, "That's a cool product. Like, let's do something." So now we've partnered with that organizer.
Trade show organizer.
A trade show organizer.
Perfect partner. Excellent.
So we just came back from London. That was our first big show with them. Next week, we're going to be in Houston. In March, we're going to be in Miami. And we're having kind of like advanced talks with another organizer in South America to do 70% of the trade shows in Chile. So
oh, wow.
It's pretty exciting.
Super cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I have to ask you a question because, I mean, there's a lot of small business owners here and on a path, right? And maybe that path isn't going anywhere. And they're scared to pivot or to go in a different direction. So, like, tell me about that process and how that felt to you and what made you realize that this is the right way to go.
It was hard because your first idea, like you love it so much that I was like, nah, I don't want to.
It's like a baby, right?
Yeah, it's like your baby. I don't want to make it fail. But then you get to a point where like, okay, well, this isn't really going anywhere. Or like it is, like like people understand the problem. Like people sort of like the solution. Yes, it's needed, but you're not getting traction. And then you get something like where there's really that. It's almost like when you talk to people, there's really much more of an excitement. There's like, yes, this is where you're like, hey, yeah, like when is that ready? It's like, yeah, I want that right now. So it's almost when like you hear that from your prospects, that you can't help but pivot. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, well, I could be a sales tool. We still are. I mean, like our solution can still be used by, kind of like sales teams. But it made more sense to like find where the, like the resistance is less. Because like
you're solving a real problem.
Exactly.
That people recognize and experience on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think it's a really important lesson though, because I mean, there's lots of founders here, and you probably also know lots of other founders who have an idea and they're set on that idea, right? And to Sean's point, you have an idea, and that first idea isn't always necessarily the right direction to go in, right? But I know founders, I've worked with founders who just kind of, it's their baby and they don't want to let go of it, right? And they keep treading water and they're not making progress, but it's their baby and they want to see it grow, and it doesn't. So I think the reason why I wanted Sean to come here tonight is because if there's anybody in the room here who's working on a project and it's not gaining traction, you're just treading water and you're finding it's not being successful as successful as you wanted it to be, then guess what? Sean's a great example of how you can pivot your business, right, and solve a real problem. I mean, you've not changed your technology really, have you? You've just added something to it, right? And
it's like the
targeted.
The focus just becomes different, right? It's like we didn't change anything about what we're doing. It's still conversational intelligence. It's still analyzing conversations that you're having with people. It's just it's almost like finding who needed it most.
It's who's your customer.
Exactly.
Who's your customer really, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And what's the real problem that you can solve with the technology that you've developed?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So how was the London show? I'm excited to hear about that because we haven't spoke about it.
The London show is good. We did the rounds. We got a few companies that actually paid for the service, which is nice. It says revenue.
Congratulations. Love it.
And even after the show, we're actually in talks with a couple companies as well that want to go on subscription, because we changed from like for these shows, we were doing per event pricing. It's like, hey, you wanted the show, here's the service, this is how much it's going to cost. But, but what we found is a lot of enterprise or even small businesses, they're like, we're not just going to 1, 2, 3 shows. We're going to 10, 7, 15. Like we had, like before I left London, we were talking to this one enterprise company. We were like, yeah, we just did 140 shows last year. And that's just in Ireland, Greater Ireland, and the UK. We're like, oh my God, how many people do you send? Oh, like minimum 6, maximum 50. We're like, oh, that's a lot.
That's a nice client there.
Exactly. So like, you know what I mean? So it's so it made more sense. Like, okay, well now we have kind of like these conversations where instead of just like, okay, per event, you do go to a lot of these shows, then you can go into the subscription model where we see like what's your usage, and we can build a plan that fits for how much you would use the platform, how many shows
they take Claritiv with them to every event they go.
They can take Claritiv with them to every event.
And then other exhibitors will see it and they'll say, hey, what's that?
Exactly.
And then it becomes an automatic marketing tool for you.
Yeah. And for the organizers, what we've done with the organizer with Fortum is we basically provide the devices for their sales team as they're walking. So like they see it, it's like, oh, what are you wearing? Oh yeah, like this is this is our partner. It's like for these trade shows. So it's almost like we give the service for free for like not for free, but like we let the organizers use it to help. I mean, we're a small startup, so we try to use whatever like help we can get with the companies we partner with.
And you have more than one potential revenue channel as well, because as you said, you can sell to the organizers who then can sell it as a value add to their exhibitors.
Exactly.
Right, so that's one avenue. Then you can go directly to the exhibitors, big companies that, as you said, sometimes there are 100 shows a year.
Exactly.
And they become a subscription customer.
And there's even
really cool.
the last model, which we're playing around with this organizer in London, is like everybody has tools for exhibitors, but there's nothing for attendees that talk to all of these different exhibitors. So we were kind of like doing an offshoot where we can provide a device that they rent for the attendees per day, because then it can compartment like, yeah, you spoke with this company, this company, this company. What are you looking for? Okay, I'm looking for. So it's like this company actually, as an attendee, makes more sense because they can solve my problem. So just imagine how that can, help the buying process, right? Especially for people that go to trade shows instead of exhibit at trade shows.
That's another revenue channel for you.
Another revenue
Perfect.
channel. Yeah.
Whereas before you just had one.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Sean about what he's done, how he approached it? There's got to be at least one question. No question? Oh, come on, Josh. There you go.
Do you realize how similar your story is to Slack?
Slack as the game.
The punchline is they start off as a video game company.
Yep. Yeah.
Built an internal tool and pivoted.
Yeah.
So almost no matter what you start off as, you don't know where you're going to end up.
Yeah. To be honest, when we started, like my background is in product management. I don't know. So I built digital products. So like the first problem I was trying to fix is like, whenever you're building user stories, like it was always terrible because people, your product owners hate writing user stories. You try to push it up to your engineers. And I was like, how do you automate that from conversation? So like that's like the starting point from that to sales because they have more conversations. So it's like, yes, it's kind of like that first thing that you try to build is never what actually generates traction.
Who's this? Oh, over there, question.
Do you have to tell people they're being recorded?
It depends on the state.
Good question.
So I say it depends on the state. So Nevada, for example, is a one consent state. So meaning only one person in the conversation has to know they're being recorded, and that person can be the person that's recording. And funny enough, there's only 6 states that does the all person. So I think California, Florida. But like whenever we're training the exhibitors, we always say, it's good to just say like, hey, is it okay if we record because like we use this to take notes and make sure that we're solving the problem for you.
Great question. Any more questions? Oh, over there.
You said that you don't like competing against big giants, but OpenAI has their new device. So what do you do in those? Do you just niche down, or?
So right now, yeah, exactly. So we niched out, and we even really focus on the needs of exhibitors and attendees for events, right? So OpenAI has their own device, probably for the general market. Let's just say Otter, right? So or Zoom. So whenever they would analyze the conversation. It's very generalized. So this is what the conversation was about. But what is every need is different. So what I mean by that is that if you go to a trade show, you have a very specific need. There's a reason why you go there. So yes, I can summarize all the conversation, but I want business opportunities. I want networking opportunities. I want who can I collaborate with? So we've trained our models to hone in on those items so that we can actually provide that for each person that you speak with. So you can, as the exhibitor or the attendee, then you have that ammunition to be able to move forward.
Any more question?
What tools are you using on the back end? Azure, AWS?
So I was telling earlier, we were thinking of switching to, so we're using Azure. We were thinking of switching to AWS. We're maybe not anymore because of what happened last week. Yeah, maybe. So, we are on Azure. We do multimodal, so meaning that general transcription, we use the video indexer from Azure, and then some analysis we have LLMs, but it's not dependent on one LLM. So we can actually split on which one provides the best results, and we also have our own machine learning models for team analysis and contextual analysis to figure out how many people are actually talking about this topic, who's actually talking about this topic. So it's not just one. It's not just a wrapper on one tool. We kind of we had to build something on top of it to provide additional value.
Doug.
What's the best part of being in the Henderson tech community, and where could it do even better?
The best part, is seriously the kind of the support that you get from, folks like Lorraine. I think last year, I think I reached out to her, hey, I'd like to talk, and then we had a conversation in Green Valley. Yeah, in Green Valley. And I was telling, and then it's just the acceptance to be able to stand right here in front of you guys, here I am, just a bootstrap startup, really nobody that was given that opportunity was very helpful.
Well, that's why we're trying to grow what we're doing here and provide additional resources. And again, Liz is here again from Economic Development. They're here to support small business, right? So if you haven't reached out to Economic Development, I don't know what your needs might be now, but you should definitely have a conversation with Liz, because that's their goal, right? To bring more jobs, to bring more companies, to diversify the ecosystem here in Henderson. So what you're doing is amazing. I mean, I love the fact that you've taken that risk and you've pivoted, and it seems like it's paying off for you. So congratulations, Sean.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any other questions? No. I have a question. Are there any startups in the room here? And you may not, okay, there's a bunch of them, okay. You may or may not want to admit this, but anybody that feels that maybe they are not heading the right direction and potentially looking at pivoting? No? Okay. Oh, Haas, I appreciate you being honest. Well, guess what? Have a conversation with... Oh, there you go. But I mean, just again, Sean is a great example of how important it is to be in tune with your customer and what the need is out there, because he was treading water and there was so much competition. Now he's created a space for himself that nobody else is really... I mean, maybe there are other companies doing it.
There is one that we found. We went to IMEX a few weeks ago, and there was one company.
Okay. The competition's great. You know what it means? It means that there's a need.
There's a need,
right?
exactly.
So you want competition, but you don't want, if you can limit it to a handful as opposed to thousands.
Yes.
Right? So I want to congratulate you, Sean. Thank you for sharing your story with me.
Thank you.
People, please support Sean. If you have any questions after, please speak with him. Thank you, Sean. Give Sean a round of applause. Thank you so much. Has everybody had a piece of cake yet? Cake? Anybody?